I want to talk now, though, about the advertisement about the transport network in London. This is an advert showing a black man and his white friend harassing a white girl on the bus, banned after just one complaint for reinforcing negative racial stereotypes. It's at the sort of the middle and the tail end of the ad. You have this black man young man who is sort of leaning through the seat on the bus, saying to the white girl, you know, come on, I've told you you're beautiful, why won't you go out with me? And she's sort of boxed in by his white friend who's sitting beside the girl, so she really has nowhere to go. Let's just take a look at this ad.
I said you look cute, I'm trying to take you on a date, you're not listening. Well, that is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Crack a smile, I'm only joking with you, mate. Why did you not want to talk to me, man? I'm shooting off or something.
Can't you see me? Can you not see me sitting here? What, you can't see me? I'm sat here.
I said you look good and you don't want to go out with me. Hello? Can you hear me?
Seeing someone else uncomfortable makes you uncomfortable.
So this has now been banned after just one complaint because it apparently reinforces negative racial stereotypes. Ebs Akintade is a political commentator who's with me now. Ebs, great to have you on the programme. Do you think this ad should have been banned?
No, of course it shouldn't have been banned. Look, in the video, it's only a 2-minute advert, and there are 3 different scenarios. One of them is the scenario you just mentioned, finished, you know, that features one black guy. The other one, the other scenario is a white guy being insulted on a platform wearing a glittery outfit, and that's on the overground. And then there's a black girl being harassed by one white guy on the tube. So you've got these different scenarios with different people, and the colour doesn't really matter in this instance. It's just about the people who are being picked on versus the ones who are actually victimising those other people. So it's completely mad to ban it just on one complaint and with a scenario where colour actually doesn't matter. It's just about people being fair.
I do wonder about this, and I think it's a bit, it strikes me, and I wonder what you think, Ebs, that it's sort of a bit patronising, really. There's one complaint, one person somewhere says that it's reinforcing a negative racial stereotype. I just wonder whether you feel patronised by the fact that this has been pulled.
Yes, I do. As opposed to watching it and seeing a black guy in it who, on the end of the advert, is part of that scenario. I've never for a minute thought, because I'd seen the advert in the last few weeks and months, and thought nothing of it apart from it's being kind to other travellers on transport, which you're trying to get from A to B. So I would never at all feel that there's anything wrong with this advert. And yes, I do feel patronised and slightly insulted, because if you think about it, every advert on the telly could have a complaint from someone from somewhere. So are we going to live in an age where we don't have any adverts at all?
Yeah, well, something will always offend people, and nobody has the right not to be offended. People could say I'm wearing a pink shirt today and they find that offensive, or just my face in general, and frankly, they'd be right. But nonetheless, Ebs, we're in a situation where there is a lot of representation of all races, but perhaps over-representation of mixed-race couples and black people in ads. Black people are about 4% of the population, yet they're in about 50% of ads. That's something I asked Sarah Puchin about a number of months ago. She got in quite a lot of trouble as a result of her comments. I just wonder whether you feel that we're thinking too much about this, and representation in ads, however it's done, whether people are heroes, villains or whatever, should be thought about perhaps in a different way.
Yes, because we're going too far down the line where everyone's getting too insulted about everything, whether they mean to or not. Plus, there's people getting insulted on behalf of other people, where it's got nothing to actually do with them. So I'm now going to get upset for my Muslim friends and colleagues because of a joke that someone said that could be deemed as anti-Muslim, and it wasn't intended in that way, and I don't see it that way, but I'm going to get offended on their behalf, and then I'm going to complain. It's like if we live in that era where everyone's going to be very, very, very nervous and scared about saying anything, anywhere, on any platform, at the workplace, on the street, someone overhears something when you're just traveling with a friend and they get offended and they pick a fight, then we're going to live in an age where everyone's going to be scared about everything. And we can't have that. There's enough things to be worried about, let alone the small little adverts that are centered on how to act as a friend. Let's not forget that, whatever color you are, how to stand up for somebody who you may not know, a stranger, someone else in the street that you can see has been uncomfortable by what they're facing, and you're just there to help. If we're now going to come to an age where you're just there to help and they're going to get offended, then where on earth are
I wonder what you make about the Advertising Standards Agency and what they think about this. Sorry, Advertising Standards Authority. They said, we understand there was a negative racial stereotype based on the association between black males, including teenagers, and threatening behaviour. We assessed whether the advert reinforced that stereotype. The ad showed a black teenage boy verbally harassing a white girl. While the white male friend was shown in the ad and in the 2-minute film, the ad did not show him as jointly intimidating the victim. I think if you sit beside someone and you box them in, that is pretty intimidating. The only aggressor in the ad was the black teenage boy. Although we understood that Transport for London had intended to present a range of diversity and scenarios across their campaign, we considered the ad, when seen in isolation, had the effect of perpetuating a negative racial stereotype about black men as perpetrators of threatening behaviour. On that basis, we concluded that the ad featured a harmful stereotype, was irresponsible and likely to cause serious offence.
I think they're just covering their back, because the other two scenarios feature one black girl being harassed directly by the one white guy who was literally shouting in her ear, sat next to her. There is an aggressor in that scenario. And there's also the aggressor of I think it's 2 or 3 guys harassing and making fun of another guy who's wearing a blue glittery outfit. Yeah. Talking about him being like a big disco ball. So that's also happening as well. So there is more than one harasser in the advert. In those other 2 scenarios, that's there. So the Advertising Standards Authority are not even making sense. That's not even true. So they need to be careful about what they're saying if they can't stand up for what is a bona fide advert that gets the message across quite clearly about how to act. Right.
Ebs, thank you. That's Ebs Akintade, who's a political commentator. Appreciate that.